Welcome to Cooking with Jess. Today I'm going to make my, dare I say, world famous homemade salsa. I actually made this at a potluck that we had at work many years ago, and it was so funny because there was a competition. Do I have to say who won? But the gentleman who, we had our salsas neck to neck, just felt he was going to win because, I don't know, he felt like he was the business because he came from a certain part of the southern side of the United States, and he just felt like he just knew all the tips and tricks. And then boom, I made this one. Se acabó. Let's get into how to make this. It is quite simple. There's not a whole bunch of extra fancy stuff in here, but there's one or two things that might be a little bit different. And the manner in which I do this may be the reason why I won. So we'll get started with ajo. Now I like a lot. I use 3 cloves. Really, if I'm making like this just for me where I know I'm going to eat it, I'll do 4 because I like it so much. And I notice that it makes it gives it like this heat, the fresh ajo in particular, nothing powdered, as you can see. So we're being conservative today, and we're just doing 3. So we got that. Now the next thing I do, if you know me, if you haven't been here before, I'm learning not to scrape and take every little bit of everything, but it's a process, right? I'm learning, but I got to take all this stuff out. I feel like we got to use everything. And for good reason. Why not? So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to use all that ajo. Step 2. I take fresh, look at me, I'm still scraping. I'm working on it. I really am. Okay. So step 2 is we're going to add in fresh lime juice. This is about 1.5 limes. And I like to mix that in with the ajo because it does some kind of magic. Don't ask me what it's called. I don't know, but it's something to do with it breaks down the flavor. So I always add that in first. Then I use 3 small, medium-ish, let's say medium-ish Roma tomatoes. I put that in next. And I'm just incorporating all that in. I mix it in. And I alternate between that and the seasoning. So this is sal, and that's cumino. What is cumino? Cumin. And I add, that's about a tablespoon of salt and cumino. I don't know if you normally put that in yours. I started adding that a few years ago, and I like the flavor. It's different. I never used to really cook with it, but I do a lot now, like a lot. So we'll alternate that in, and we'll put a little bit more of the tomates in there. Next, I'm going to put some fresh chopped cilantro. And I just think it looks so pretty. That green, I love the flavor. But for me also, the colors are very important. I think it makes a huge difference when you're eating, that you look at things that look like, this looks really interesting. It looks like it's going to taste good. And then I also am going to add jalapeno. Now, this is definitely, this is preference. Now, this bad boy is going to be super hot. I left the seeds in, so get ready, okay? It's about to get real. I chopped them up. This is just one, but I let it sit on my countertop for some time, and it started to get a little wrinkly, and it's just going to make it even more spicy, and I like that too. So we alternate that in, and then we're going to add in the rest of the tomates and give it a taste, okay? And we'll see if we need to add anything else. The salt it's recommended, a tablespoon, but if you'd like to put more or less, that's up to you. Now, the other thing that I add in, and it's just, I don't know what it does. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you like I know all the scientific facts that happen when you add in certain things, like what it does. But I'm going to tell you this much. This, I just have just it's a 1/2 teaspoon of grapeseed oil. Honey, something about this just changes the flavor. And I don't think it's the grapeseed oil necessarily, because I did used to use another type of oil, but my doctor recommended that I switch to grapeseed oil. And ever since then, that's all I use for cooking, for sometimes when I make dressings, but definitely for cooking, I use grapeseed oil. So we got that mixed in pretty good. We're gonna get a little sampling of this just to make sure that we're good. And you know what I'm gonna sample it with? I'm gonna sample it with a chip. How about that? But let's just see. When I tell you this heat is hot, con semilla with the seed, oh Lord Jesus, boy, it's hot. Okay, it subsided a little bit. That's good. I taste the lime. Definitely taste the ajo. Definitely. And the good thing about this is you let this sit overnight. Mama, let me tell you something. Tomorrow, even, it just like everything gets a chance to marinate. Ooh, tastes even better. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit to the side, and I want to put it in a little ramekin. We're gonna plate it up. I think we're good with the salt. Also, take into consideration if you're gonna eat the salsa with some chips. If the chips already have salt on it, let's not OD. Let's not OD on the salt, because why? You don't need all that salt in your life, unless you know, if you can handle it, that's fine. But you know, if you want to monitor your blood pressure, make sure you're not putting a whole bunch of unnecessary salt in your life. Don't do it. Just make sure you account for that. Okay. There you go. That's my homemade salsa. And just because we want to make sure we added everything in there correct, I'm gonna take one more taste. This ajo, and boo, that heat. There you have it. Homemade salsa. Try it. Let me know what you think.